So the child can be in the home, have parents, but those parents are actually not interested in the child. For instance, I just found out recently that there's a school in Owerri currently where they have preschoolers in boarding school.
Wow.
So you have your 1 year old, you take them to the boarding school, and then they leave them there sometimes 2 months to the caregivers. So the parents just come in, buy the provisions. So yeah, you're actually providing the school requirement, but that child is going to grow up abandoned because the basic things that a child needs is not necessarily the monetary support. There are some basic needs of the child, especially the under fives, that they need that support, they need the love, they need the care from the parents. When you fail to do that, that child grows up as an abandoned child. Because you see lots of adults who say that my mom doesn't care, she's never around, my parents are never around, and there are lots of emotional needs of children. Basically, it's not only adults that have emotional needs. These children have emotional needs. You see them, they feel so hurt. Like something happened recently, my son did something and I scolded him. And then he kept quiet for like 10 minutes. And I was like, David, what's wrong with you? And I asked him, Shebi, I beg you not to be shouting at me. So at that point, it's an emotional need. And he felt hurt. Because for him, that was so hurting. My mom is shouted at me. So basically, these children have basic needs, basic emotional needs, basic emotional support that they expect from parents. And when a parent fails to provide that, the child can be said to be abandoned.
Interesting. All right, the conversation is getting hotter here. Now, what are the side effects, looking at these children, especially the ones that, like you said, unwanted in quotes, those ones that their parents feel we don't want this person. And, I don't want this person, like you said, something you call it social what?
Social pregnancy.
Social pregnancy. So I had a social pregnancy and left the baby to, or what if that child survived it? What are the possible side effects? Because a lot of times, I don't know, is it selfishness that brings this? Because, look, you talked about condition of society, blah, blah, blah. Yes, we have not decided to take our own lives. Yes? There's inflation, there's whatever. Yet, we still eat. One way or the other, even if now Gary is still so drink. Yes. And then when it comes to the baby, then we begin to, some people begin to look at self, me, how I'm going to feel, how about the child? So what are these effects, negative effects or emotional effects this thing has on the children?
Wow. When you talk of the effects of abandonment on the child, it's so wide. Because now you're looking at the effect on the child, first and foremost, and then the effect on the society at large. Because now these children, apart from the fact that they're going to grow up with a lot of emotional issues, a lot of inferiority complex, a lot of heart issues, like matters of the heart. There is so many of them. You see some of those ones that they go into a lot of societal vices, the prostitutes, the armed robbers, and all that. Most of the children, because of the conditions of the upbringing, it actually makes them prone to some of those things. Secondly, these children are exposed to criminal activities. Of course, they're exposed to kidnappings. They're exposed to the new craze of ritual, using them for ritual. So they're at risk of everything out there because there is no support, there is no there is no protection around this child. Now when you now look at the society at large, they grow up being a menace to the society. For instance, the UNICEF, they have this category they call children living in the streets. You have the children off the street. Now these children off the streets are children that they were born in the streets, they grow up in the streets, they live in the streets. Now, when you look at it to the society at large, they actually make up a good number of those that are into prostitution. They make up a good number of those that are into criminal activities. They make up a good number of those that cause a lot of ills to the society. Because now these children are the ones exposed to all the negatives. You know, you get to somewhere like Douglas, for instance, and then you have all these small children, no parents, just hustling around. You find out that they're the ones that end up being the pickpockets. They're the ones that everything wrong in the society. Most of the time, I'm not saying all the time, but most of the time, you find out that they are the ones that perpetrate these crimes, because one, they have this mentality of man must survive. Since there is no other way to do it, nobody cares for them. Nobody goes out and makes sure that I have even if it's a square meal on my table. So they find alternate ways to make ends meet. And then secondly, the rate of illiteracy goes up. We talk about the North, the Almajiris. You find out that the whole terrorism, majority of the number of those people that are perpetrating those acts, those bandits, these terrorists, they're actually those children that were abandoned on the streets to find their way. And then when somebody comes and offers them 2,000 naira, it seems like, whoa, this is the life. And they are willing to go all out to do whatever it is, no matter how evil it is, just to put food on their own table.
Okay, let's just digress a little bit. Not it's not digression though, but that's what it seemed like. Yeah. When we come to the topic of abortion, when would you say it's okay, to terminate the life of this baby, because the mother can be at risk at a certain level, and then again, that child has the right to leave. So it's a little dicey here. What do you have to say about this?
Okay, that's a very difficult one, because one, I'm a medical doctor, and secondly, I'm a Christian through and through, unapologetic. So actually, for me, when it comes to my career and the oath we swore to life, I can personally, it's my personal view, but I can personally sanction an abortion when you know that continuing that pregnancy is a risk to the mother's life.
Okay.
When the mother's life is at stake. But anything outside that, I'm not going to sanction it. But there are some cases when you know that, like, okay, in medicine, there's something they call eclampsia, for instance. You have an eclamptic mother. The teaching is terminate that pregnancy at that point. So the fastest, easiest delivery. So at that point now, you know that this mother, anything beyond this woman may lose her life. And knowing that when the mother loses her life, that child is still going to lose their life. So the most important thing is, of course, in medicine, once you have the choice between the mother and the baby, every time we choose the mother, every single time.
Okay, please just do hold on. Hello? Yes, please. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm currently at Ample.
Okay, actually, Quincy, I think I was supposed to start with you guys today. There are two of you that are being consistent callers on the show, and I have a gift for you. I think I probably have sent to the other person, but I have a gift for you. Quincy, you're welcome. Okay, so let me just do this. I was supposed to do it while I was introducing, but I guess it's skipped my memory. There are two consistent callers on this show, Joy and Kosi. Yeah, so I earlier got into Joy and then reached out to her and sent her a gift, and then Kosi, I'm here to do yours, right? Well, obviously we'll have a gift for you right here on the show, and I will do that. Please do call back so I can get your details. Somehow I knew you were going to call in today. Alright, keep your calls coming in. 0811-288-7887. Call and be part of the show. Right now, it's Sabi, you're right on Heritage 88.7 FM. I'll be talking to Dr. Confidence Mwabubu from FMC.
I'm a hematologist.
Alright, you heard it from the horses. From the horse's mouth. Abi from the horse mouth. There's no horse. Okay. Alright, so moving on the show, right? Dr. Confidence, you talked about these children becoming this, that. Do they have the right to leave?
Yes, every child has the right to life. In fact, every human being has the right to life. But most importantly, the children have the right to live. Because, of course, the child didn't beg you to conceive her or him. Whatever the issues, my Oga would say there are no illegitimate children. There are only illegitimate parents.
True.
So obviously every child is legitimate, because whatever happened, whatever the mistakes that were made between the parents, that's your choice. But this child is a destiny on his or her own, and he has the right to live and fulfill that destiny.
Okay, are there centers in Owerri where um, people can like have a child and a really big caregiver for the child, so to speak, like motherless baby homes, and all of that. If found, for example, I can wake up and see an abandoned baby, right? What do I do with this baby? How do I get the baby to a safe place? I'm a young person. I can't even take care of a baby. There are all sorts of people out there. It can be in the village setting. It can be a passerby. It can be any. So we get to find such babies. During your where you work, right? Is it possible to get those babies there?
Okay. Well, normally, every government is actually supposed to provide such shelters for these children.
Obviously, I know the Commissioner for Women Affairs. I'm hoping she will be on the show sometime soon when she's less busy. But before you go ahead, let me just take this call. Hello, good afternoon.
I'm going to just use an illustration. Like, this thing comes to my mind most time. I think about these kids in Northwest baby homes. You know, yeah, they are abandoned. Most of them are actually put on the street. You know, so I'm looking at the picture. What if they are not? They do not a son that wants to adopt them, and then they grow up, and then they come to realize that I was actually abandoned by my parents. It's just about to be people self-esteem. They feel rejected. Plus, the society we are in, nobody to maybe fight for them or speak for them. Maybe when they are being bullied or
That's why
something.
this passes.
So that's my point on the show now today.
All right, thank you very much, Kosi, for calling. Kosi, please, can I get okay, your number ends with 310, right? 7310. Okay, thank you very thank you, Kosi, for calling. Obviously, like I said earlier, she's one of our regular caller on the show. So, Kosi, thank you very much for calling. You will get your gift shortly. All right. Keep listening to the show. She just talked about these children being abandoned, and of course the emotional effect they have on them. Self-esteem is lost, and all of that. So yes. You were saying something earlier.
Okay.
Yes.
I was talking about the responsibility of government towards providing shelter, care, and the basic needs for these children. For every government is part of your responsibility towards the citizens, because in every society there would always be abandoned children. Some of these children were abandoned deliberately. Some actually maybe lost both parents to either ailments or something. So in any situation, there must be abandoned children. So the government is supposed to provide safe houses in quotes. I know in some of the advanced countries you have some of those homes where a homeless child or a person can walk in, at least be sure of a roof over your head, be sure of meals, volunteers, and all that. So in our environment, I know a couple of motherless babies homes, but the ones I know actually, I really stand to be corrected. But the ones I know are actually private individuals that actually maybe some of those are mission hospitals, the Catholic churches, or some NGOs that actually go out of their way to do it. And sometimes you find out that the burden of care becomes too much.
So much. Okay, hold your thoughts, Dr. Confidence. Hello, good afternoon. Yes. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show. Yes, honey, please can you turn down the volume on your radio set?
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Joy, and I'm calling from Speedback.
All right, Joy, welcome to the show. Joy, did you get our gift?
Yes, I got the gift. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, that's just to say thank you for being consistent on the show. So you heard our topic of discourse today. What do you have to say?
It takes so much of the confidence. Everything you've been saying are true. Even I was using myself as an instance, and I was thinking about what you said. Maybe some of the
the issues we have now as adults, like this, as a result of the way we were trained when we were young, and maybe we weren't given the kind of emotional love we were supposed to be given, and we kind of had an issue in our character right now. But I wanted to ask this question, Mark. When you get to this point and you realize, okay, because you probably didn't get the kind of love you were supposed to get, what are we supposed to do now as adults now?
Okay, very interesting. So that's a question to you, Dr. Confidence. As an adult, what are they supposed to do? Because, like, what the ones trained, well brought up, who enjoyed their parents' love, the caregivers' love, blah blah blah, don't have a different society from don't have a different society from the one we are in, right? We all exist, and we are all expected to at least, meet up standard in the society. So, what do we do? Can I take another call while you put yourself together? Okay. Hello, good afternoon. Sir, please can you turn down the volume on your radio set? Because foundation comes to play here, upbringing comes to play here. So now I'm meant to level up with everyone in the society. What do I do to change?
Well,
We have more calls coming in. I don't know what to do with your question. Should I still ask you to hold on while I take this call? I think I should. Hello, good afternoon. Yeah, welcome to the show. Okay, yes, we got your question. You said what do you do now that you're older, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Was that why you called back? You wanted to...
Ma'am?
That was why you called back, right? To make sure we got your question.
Okay, I should repeat the question.
No, we got your question. I think you should listen. Dr. Confidence is about to answer that now, okay? Yes, please. Thank you very much. Okay, so let me allow you to answer because she needs an answer like right now.
okay, if I get her right, she said, let's say you grew up with some deficits in care due to maybe one form or abandonment, and now you're actually older and you're looking for a way to make up those deficits. Basically, that's what I understood by her question. Actually, the truth is, life is not always how you wish it to be. Everyone, when you talk to everyone, they will tell you one area they feel they were cheated in life growing up in one area or the other. Now, the first thing you have to understand is self-awareness, first and foremost. Once you can realize, okay, I have this issue, there's nothing like telling yourself the truth. I have a lot of people that grew up with an inferiority complex, maybe due to the way they were brought up, due to one issue in the family or not. So first and foremost is one, for you to realize that there is actually a problem. And then secondly, for you to consciously make an effort to work on that deficit. Because like Iberi said, irrespective of what your experience was growing up, we are all expected to level up. And then when you realize that I'm having this issue, you have a lot of people that they can't stand in front of people and talk. No matter how hurt they are, no matter the points they want to make, once they stand in front of somebody, you find out they can't talk. These are issues you need to work on. You need to first and foremost, accept that there is a problem, and then you need to consciously make an effort to work on it. Personally, I think one, having a personal relationship with either a coach, somebody, you can actually get a mentor. Even no matter the age you are, you can always get a mentor. If you're someone that you're a Christian, you have people in the church that can actually help you out. You have to get involved in the school system. You have to get involved. These are some of the ways that can help you break out some of those habits that you picked up as a child due to one deficit or the other. You have some children that while they were growing up, they were smart, they were exposed. Some people were not. But over time, you end up working on yourself because you realize that, look, I need this to survive. I need to break out of this stereotype. I need to work on it. I need to get out of this box that I've put myself in because of some issues growing up. Yeah, it's not always easy. Sometimes you might actually require professional help. And secondly, too, you might actually require mentorship. You might actually require somebody else stepping in to help you go through that phase. Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Confidence, thank you very much. All right, so keep your calls coming. We'd like to know your take on the topic we are discussing today. We have a few more minutes to go. But Dr. Confidence, have you had any encounter with these babies or parents? Have you ever had to handle any of these children? What did it, I mean, I just want to know your feeling because I have not, but I'm sure it's an emotional one, especially for you guys that work in the hospital. Seeing these children. Some of them are so pretty, and most times I think, look here, a family looking for the fruit of looking for children for a very long time. Here, another person, you have them in quantum, and you can afford to just, throw them in the garbage like trash.
Well, most times when you have those experiences, it's actually striking, and it's something that makes you realize that at the end of the day, we are all products of the society that raised us. I've had a lot of encounters, quite a number of them. I've had pregnant mothers that say, I don't even want to set eye on the child once I give birth to the child, do whatever you want with it. I've had cases of women that had children. There was one that had a set of twins, and then the children were actually brought to us because they were so malnourished, sickly, and all that. And the woman was like, please, even if this one dies, no, I hope they won't want one. I can give birth to another one. And in that point,
Can you explain that in English?
as in, like, she said, her whole body is made up of babies, so even if this one dies, she can always give birth to another set of babies. And it was actually painful because while we were still trying to save the lives of those babies, one woman walked into the ward, and she was actually a woman that has been looking for the fruit of the womb for 18 years. And when she heard the story of the babies, saw how bad they were looking, she just started crying. I was like, you could see this woman weeping. And she was like, when they will tell you babies to come to someone that will appreciate you, you will not agree. Now see what you have entered into. And she was literally shouting at the babies like, why would you go to this woman when I'm here looking for you people? So sometimes it could actually be emotional. But basically we just try our best to provide the best we can at that point. So that's actually where I think the government really, really, really needs to come in. Because, like that baby, for instance, by the time they finished and all that, the mother still went home with them. And to me, somebody that has left the children to that level of sickness and abandonment shouldn't go home with that baby.
I'm thinking
You
so
have
as well.
you have a lot of social welfare deficits. There's some babies we see and you just know that, no, I don't want those women to go. But there's no social welfare in place, actively in place. You call the social welfare and they tell you that there's no funding, that nobody funds them and all that. Sometimes you go to them, you have a very sick baby that the parents cannot afford care, and you're like, we need help. And they say that they're not giving us anything for social welfare. There's no money,
So
nothing.
I'm even seeing a more reason why I should have a commissioner for women affairs here, hopefully, hopefully.
Yeah, because they actually need to be able to get across to some of those hospitals. Let them know that, look, this is in place for situations like this. When you find this kind of child, some people bring them to the hospital and then you have to find a way to take care of the child. Some of them actually out of pocket, and that's actually why some babies or some children are left on the street. Because you see a good Samaritan, you want to do it, but you know that when you take this child to the hospital, you're held down there to actually be the one to foot the bills. So they end up looking the other way. Not as if that they're not moved with compassion, but maybe at that point in time he cannot afford it, so he lets the child go. But if there is an avenue that you can access funds, you can access help, you can access care for these children, I think the society at large would join hands to actually help bring out these children from such pathetic situation.
Okay, ma'am. I'm going to ask you just for one last word to go ahead and speak to a mother right now that's thinking of terminating that baby, is thinking of abortion, but is thinking of looking for a way to get rid of that pregnancy. I know there are lots of them. I've met lots of young people myself who said, no way. Sometimes I even wish I can offer them my house. I'm talking about my matrimonial home, to stay. Go ahead and encourage that one right now that's looking to end her life because she thinks this pregnancy is a disgrace and embarrassment. I don't need it. I just want to have my life back.
What I need to tell them is every destiny has something good. There's this elderly man I met one time in the hospital. He was in his 80s or thereabouts, and he was talking of his experience. His wife actually had an extramarital affair some years after they had had their boys, and then she got pregnant. She actually did everything to terminate that baby, and then it didn't work out, and her life was at risk. So she had to open up to him and like let him know. Okay, so basically, he accepted the baby, and then they moved on. And now in his old age, he looked at me and said, "Dog, thank God for that decision to keep that baby." But you know that in his old age, the whole care and everything for that child, for them in their old age, was that particular child they wanted to get rid of. So sometimes you actually don't know tomorrow. That child could be the answer to all the prayers you have been looking for. So just hang in there. It may not necessarily be so easy. It may not necessarily look smooth now, but just hang in there.
Okay.
That child.
All right, Dr. Confidence. We've been talking to Dr. Confidence Mwabuku from FMC. Thank you so much for joining me on the show today.
Thank you so much.
And you that called in, thank you so much, Kosi Joy, and the rest of you. Appreciate you a lot. We'll do the same time next week. Big up to the Whispers, to Whispers of Humanity team right here, Omar, and the beautiful table behind the LIC. Let's do this again same time next week. God bless you.